Yo, what's goody, everybody? Today's topic, best effort at all times. Effort, endeavor, and persistence. All fancy words for how hard you try, so regardless of which one you choose, you determine if your thoughts and results align. Today's three focuses is point of view, drive, and how to materialize. So now that we're live, let's dive. Point number one, perspective. Perspective varies based on your view. Whether you widen it or narrow it is completely up to you. It starts with sight. Serena Williams, the greatest female tennis player of all time, 13 Grand Slams, 4 gold medals, 14 double championships with her sister. She's done it all. But she doesn't look like anybody else at all. She says, as a black tennis player, I look different, I sounded different, I dressed differently, I served differently. But when I stepped onto the court, I could compete with anyone. Tennis in Compton was unheard of and unforeseen. But when her dad widened her view, she saw what the sport could bring. So the first key is sight. Because while one person's is limited, the other person's is expansive. This person's sight is limited to their community, where based on the people around them, they believe that's all they can do. And if they have a dream, these people will tell them, no one else has done it. It certainly can't be you. Thrusted into a box of mediocrity, where they're limited in their abilities and aspirations. This person over here has expanded their view so they can find a new destination. They're witnessing greatness, whether it's on internet or the TV. They can see the differences and the similarities for just how great they can be. So the second key is when they recognize, because while this person's still content with the situation, this person is going to improve. When it comes to school, they're okay still getting C's and D's. It's just enough to get by. And then when it comes to sports, they're doing the team practice, then waving bye. And then when it comes to work, they're doing the bare minimum. They never strive, content being like everyone. This person here is excelling past everyone under the sun. When it comes to school, they're doing their best. And then when it comes to sports, after practice, they're asking coach, what else is needed for success? And then when it comes to work, they're doing the most they can in the allotted amount of time. It doesn't matter about them. It only matters about me and how I feel at the end of the night. So then the final key is view. Because while this person views it as impossible, this person views it as probable. After all, we've all heard the statistics. It's 1 out of every 100, 1,000, or million. This person will say, that can never be me. I'm okay with where I'm at. Meanwhile, this person's saying, if they can do it, surely I can do that. Because at the end of the day, I'm the same as that one. Because we all live, breathe, and eat under the same sun. Serena Williams says, I went on the courts with a ball, a racket, and hopes. That's all I had. I never give up because you never know what can happen and who you can inspire. That mindset is what drove her to success and why she was so great until she retired. That's what leads me to point number two. Point number two, determination. Hard work doesn't beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. We've all heard that phrase, but it takes more than hard work. It's a mental game. It starts with grit. Cristiano Ronaldo is my greatest soccer player all time. Real Madrid and Manchester United legend, loads of scoring titles and records and tons of trophies on his mantle. He comes from a small town in Portugal. His success is rooted in his determination to be the best. He says, dreams are not what you see in your sleep. Dreams are things which do not let you sleep. Work is what separates imagination from realization. It's your job to fulfill your inspiration. So the first key is work ethic. Because while this person's just trying to do enough to get by, this person's doing as much as they can so they can strive. When it comes to school, they're doing just enough. And when it comes to sports, they don't care whether they're a starter or a sub. And when it comes to work, they're just trying not to get fired. But what they don't realize is that while they're trying to float under the radar, Everybody notices, and their colleagues and classmates are talking amongst each other saying what this person's doing is bogus. Meanwhile, this person over here, they're focused. They're striving to get out of societal's abyss. When it comes to school, they're the cornerstone of work ethic. And when it comes to sports, they want to be the star and electric. And when it comes to work, they're trying to excel at their career because they understand that those habits are going to carry over for years. So the second key is compare. Because while this person is compared to the same level, this person is comparing to a level above. And this is very common in sports, where people are comparing themselves or their kids to the local team or AAU, just asking themselves, I wonder how good I did against 15, 16, and 17U. Meanwhile, this person's always trying to play a level above, and it's not about the others. They want to see how good their abilities stack up. And when it comes to work, they're comparing their statistics in office, using that as a measuring stick of success. This person's comparing their goals corporate wide and measuring themselves against the best. Because at the end of the day, they're restricting their progress. They're okay with mediocrity. This person's not limiting their scale. They're trying to see how great their star can be. And the final key is time. Because while this person's indifferent, this person's devoted to their time. This person can easily be distracted, hanging out with friends, watching TV, or playing the game for hours on end. Meanwhile, this person's devoted to their time so they can try and transcend. They understand that these hours is how I make my name. I want to be just as good as I proclaim. Cristiano Ronaldo says, I don't have to show anything to anyone. There's nothing to prove. When you've mastered your craft, it doesn't matter what the others say. You're just proving everything to you. So that's what leads me to point number 3. Point number 3, don't settle. Satisfaction is synonymous with complacency. It takes evolution to continuously grow in our society. It starts with joy. Peyton Manning, NFL quarterback Hall of Famer, NFL record 5 MVPs with 2 Super Bowl rings. He's known for 2 things when it comes to football: love and preparation. He says, pressure is something you feel when you don't know what the hell you're doing. So regardless of what venture you're on, always be ready for what you're pursuing. So the first key is ego. While one becomes big-headed, the other one remains humble. And don't get me wrong, you need confidence in order to maximize your abilities. But when you become big-headed, you start to limit your possibilities. You put forth less effort because then you're underestimating your competition. Then you won't try as hard because you'll say, oh, I got this. But then when you fail, you're wondering why you're so pissed. Instead, the humble person understands that's a temptation that I need to resist. They stay level-headed regardless of the competition, and they always keep an open ear, so they're always prepared to listen. So the second key is results. This person's excited by the small result, only focused on the battle, while this person's focused on the bigger picture in order to win the war. If they both did great on the quiz, this person would say, man, I'm happy I did great. I don't need to study for the exam. Meanwhile, this person says the exam's the goal. I need a diploma when I get called up to the stand. If they both won a rivalry game, this person would say, whoo, we don't need to practice. Did you just see what I did? I'm the man. Meanwhile, this person's happy they won, but he wants a trophy in his hand. And then when it comes to work, if they both close a big deal, this person would say, did you see that deal I just closed? That just solved my quarter. That's my flex. Meanwhile, this person's happy they finally closed it, but they're wondering what's next. The difference between both parties is this person understands they need to keep working hard in order to have lasting success. So the final key is future. Because while this person's excited by today's glory, this person's striving for tomorrow's story. Now this is focused on flops. We see it in all aspects of our life where one person has all the tools or all the potential to go out and be great, but they fall well short of expectations. I want to focus on 2 people, Anthony Bennett and Jamarcus Russell. Anthony Bennett was a 5-star basketball recruit and the #1 power forward in the nation before he went to college. He went to UNLV, won all-conference first team, conference rookie of the year, and was drafted number 1 overall in the NBA. Then we have Jamarcus Russell, 4-star quarterback out of high school, committed to LSU, and had turned into a superstar quarterback in college and cemented his career with a dominant win over Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. He was drafted number 1 overall in the NFL. Now, both of them excited by today's glory of being drafted number 1 overall, they never thought their careers would be put in doubt. But after being drafted, they took their talent for granted and they both flamed out. They stopped working out and they got well out of shape. Being far too excited by today's glory, now in tomorrow's story, they're considered the biggest flops to date. That's where a humble person recognizes they're happy about their accomplishment, but they're focused on what's next. Instead of falling to the media's trap, they're striving to be their best. That way, when their career is all said and done, they don't have any regrets. After all, Peyton Manning says, "I've never left the field saying, I could have done more to get ready, and that gives me peace of mind." That mindset right there is why he's enshrined. So in conclusion, remember these 3 things. Point number 1, perspective. Don't be afraid to widen your view. Point number 2, determination. It's not just about the hard work, it's about the grit within you. Then point number 3, don't settle. Be happy about the battle, but focus on the war. Those 3 are the keys to best effort at all times. From one witness to another, you are special. Look out.